Michal Nýdrle. Thank you.
Working? Yeah, cool. Thank you for such a nice introduction. It's a great pleasure to be in front of you here in the freshly reconstructed hotel in the Bitcoin capital. I don't want to bother you with the how to say history of my family business, but I have to give you a clue from where we come from towards where we are heading to. And there is a disclaimer. Everything what I will say is not an investment suggestion, because I have one regulated business already. This is just my personal intuition. Yeah? And I was always following only my intuition. And I was surrounded by analysts, which were, I had always some fights with. But in some cases, I actually found myself to be right. Here are some businesses from my own portfolio, which I will describe, which are actually on my path towards to Bitcoin, very important milestones. First one is quite large real estate development. I acquired in the last 10 years close to 30 hectares of land, and I'm changing the zoning, and we are getting there. Yesterday we had a successful meeting at this Prague City Hall about contributions. Next business is investment boutique. It's a regulated business by Czech National Bank. We are taking care of wealth of 30 really wealthy Czech people. Invity is a business which I will be mainly talking about. It's currently an app for buying and saving into Bitcoin. And today we will be launching Satoshi Bridge Fund. You will hear about it. This is the key trigger point in my life, this project. As I mentioned, it's a Prague district for 3,500 people, 1,100 flats, etc. We will start the development in 2 years. And I have a really close friend of mine who was my data analyst in my previous businesses, which we've sold to Publicis Group, as Daniel mentioned. And that guy is my fitness coach. And I'm working with him twice a week into fitness. And that bloody bastard, since 2017, was always talking about Bitcoin, how it's gonna save planet. And he was annoying me so much that I almost stopped actually going to fitness. And then one day, he actually gave me the orange pill. And that orange pill sounded like this. Hey, you know, Mike, I'm going to actually buy your flat in that development. And then I started to listen because, of course, someone is offering me money, and that's a trigger. That's something what interests me. And he said, would you be able to accept my 20 Bitcoins as a collateral? I was like, what? I'm buying Bitcoin, I'm just stacking. There are people who are considering actually financial product above Bitcoin. Since that moment, I ate the pill. Since that moment, I had some Bitcoins since 2016, but because my CFO told me it's good to buy it, but I never pay attention to the technology. But in that moment, it was sometime in 2020, actually, since that moment, I'm a true Bitcoin believer, and maybe, how do you call, someone who is convincing people. And I became annoying for other people around me, especially here. This company trades mainly with on the stock exchange, mainly titles from S&P 500, creating structured products, etc. So our counterparties are Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, etc. But my analysts are actually every single day against me, and they are writing me SMSs. Like last week, we were with my wife in Bhutan, you know, searching around the land, how they actually mine Bitcoin, etc. And my analysts were writing to me, hey, Bitcoin is falling, it's below $100,000. Now is the moment, Michael, hey, do you still believe in it? But those guys have a different view on what is wealth, and for me, it's very useful to actually see the other side, yeah? And to be challenged by their opinions. What I'm showing here is what I said, not an investment suggestion. This is something what triggers my mind towards to what I believe in. And what scares me is the allocation of global wealth on US markets. What scares me even more is the allocation of a big cap companies. It's 40% of S&P index, right? Just those magnificent 7 up to 10 companies. What scares me even more is the multiples, which are normal investor is actually willing to pay 10 to 15 multiple on price earnings. What scares me is the US, the multiple on the US markets is actually in average about 24. What scares me even more is I don't want to call it bubble, but evidently there is a huge allocation of capital within the AI sphere. And the multiples are even double above the average on the US indexes. And I'm super fan of AI. I'm using it every day. This presentation was done in AI. The technology will be here, but I strongly believe that there must be some correction sometime. I found it quite actually disgusting that a company with a billings of 13 billion US dollars is preparing IPO of 1 trillion US dollars. These are some of the biggest IPOs in the history. Okay, Saudi Aramco, maybe not an exact great case to compare with, but look at the multiple in moment of IPO. What were their revenues and what was the IPO valuation? OpenAI, they committed to invest $1.4 trillion in upcoming 8 years to chip industry producers. I'm a little bit scared of that, and I don't want to be participating on potential future profits in upcoming 1, 2, 3 years. I'm not willing to do that. We were talking about allocation of the capital on the US market. Every kid in the kindergarten knows that when the gold price grows, US dollar weakens. What started to happen in October is China gold purchases. It scares me quite a lot. what scares me is the interest rate on US debt, which is for the first time in the history higher than the budget for defense in US. And all these things, which I'm listening every day in Next Wealth, brings me to finding the solution for normal people how to protect their money. Because what will happen when there is a market sell-off? People usually, they tend to go into cash, and from cash they are deciding where's the next safe haven. Either US bonds or US dollar currency or a stock exchange market. Gold as well. Gold is quite high. So I strongly believe that the adoption of Bitcoin, which is currently about 3% globally, will come to their mind. I think I don't need to convince you about that here. So what we did with my wife and our business partner Radek, whom I will introduce in a while, we actually acquired 50% of Invity app, which is coming from the Satoshi Lab group. It's currently just buying, selling, and sending to self-custody to Trezor, etc. What we plan to do is, of course, be MiCA licensed. We are one of those, I was shocked actually, 250 applications. Will be the first one I want to tell you. Because we would like to create products within Invity which me, my wife, my kids, my parents would like to use. Just a simple marketing presentation. Target audiences. Grandpa, he plans about heritage of his wealth towards to his, for example, grandchildren. Father, entrepreneur. He needs corporate accounts. He needs to benefit system for his employees. So that means sub accounts for his employees within the company account. Mother, personal account, and sub accounts for the kids. And then kids, they might need some credit card and maybe leveraged savings. This is just a quick view about the portfolio of products which will be there in upcoming months. As I mentioned, some of you might not know Satoshi Labs. So for those who don't know the best Bitcoin group in the world, coming from Prague, I have here a quick summary. Oh, sorry, it's on the other side. After. Through that group, we've actually see the demand for €500 million Bitcoin-backed loans. Currently, to give you a clue, Invity, since 2019, when Invity was launched for the first time, has €2 billion turnover just in stacking, and 30,000 customers currently. That's from where the amount of €500 million is coming from. And as I promised, here's the video.
Bitcoin in the Czech Republic. 2010 Slush Pool. Marek Palatinas creates Slush Pool, the first publicly available mining pool. It continues today as Brains. 2013 Seed Phrase. Slush and Stick co-authored BIP 39, the mnemonic seed phrase standard, a globally adopted method for wallet recovery. 2014 Trezor 1. The world's first hardware cryptocurrency wallet is produced commercially. 2024 Invity. Invity crypto platform reaches $2 billion in transaction volume and is trusted by 30,000 plus customers. 2025 Tropic Square. The world's first open source secure element chip introduced, a breakthrough in hardware security. 2025 Trezor 7. Next generation Trezor powered by Tropic Square launched. trustless by design. Today, we are launching Satoshi Bridge Investment Fund.
And I was talking about the volume of money which we need to lend towards to Bitcoin. Because of that, we are launching Satoshi Bridge Investment Fund. I'm not going to upsell here. I'm just going to tell you the parameters of the fund. There are different audiences for which will be annoying with. Here's the moment I would like to invite my partner, Radek. He is He's one of my best friends. He is the lawyer who is actually controlling my ass, and he is a business partner in Invity.
Yeah, with that hard job, let me annoy you a little bit about Satoshi Bridge Fund. It's the first Czech liquidity fund. We will raise funds from mainly Czech investors to be able to finance lending and trading Bitcoin platforms. Our mission in the fund is to actually support the financial freedom of the ultimate Bitcoin owners. The idea is to give them the financial freedom to either buy more Bitcoin, to protect against the falling value of the fiat currencies, or to actually borrow fiat to be able to use it against their Bitcoin, not to sell it and use it in their daily needs. We are a member of the Satoshi Labs family. So the funds will primarily be used in our Invity application. You have seen some of the products that we already offer, and there will be many more coming. We are very happy to support Trezor customers as well. You just saw the presentation of Trezor 7. We believe strongly that the existing client base will substantially expand with the introduction of the new product, and the fund will be here to support those customers. So what do we actually offer to the fund investors? First of all, we offer fairly limited risk. The fund will partner with the platforms that will set their initial exposure only against 200% of the collateral and value of the collateral in Bitcoin. Second, we will offer to our investors very diversified customer base. The fund will not work with the platforms that support market makers or Bitcoin exchanges. We will support platforms that actually deal with individual Bitcoin holders, either individuals or their business personal holding companies. And third, Bitcoin only. With that private credit strategy, which actually has a very high collateral value and strategy behind it, we will target 8% return for Czech crown investors, 7% a return for investors in Europe. Ideally, our investors should follow 3 to 5 year investment horizon, and that's because we actually want to make sure that we can offer corresponding products in Invity. The initial target size of the fund is between 60 million to 100 million euro. We are hoping for more. As you have seen, the client base is there. Finally, we are very proud to be actually based in the Czech Republic. We believe Czech Republic is actually a very strong jurisdiction because of the Czech National Bank. It's a very diligent and safe regulator, and we believe that's an advantage for our fund. I don't know how to actually move on the presentation.
No, it's working.
Oh, fine.
So backwards.
The fund structure is evergreen SICAV, well known within the EU. We will actually offer our investors valuations monthly, liquidity monthly, and as I mentioned, Czech National Bank watching over, together with our administrator, Amista, which is part of Czech-Slovak, well-known JNT Financial Group, and Česká spořitelna, which is part of Erste Group, will be the depository. And of course, our great team, which stands behind the fund, is ready to lead our efforts. With that, thank you very much for the attention and your future support and investments.